Before we begin, I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year to make all these special videos, so if you like the content here, please consider subscribing to help fulfill Project 10K. Thank you. Now on to the video. Father Burke is one of many Cars 2 background characters to be heavily based on a character that was previously used in the Cars tunes. And while many of these characters, like Chisaki, Harumi, Yokoza, and Kabuto, are the same as their Cars tune counterparts, Father Burke is a completely different character, being a priest in Italy that appears to watch the Porto Corso race, while his counterpart from the Cars tunes, Padre, was a priest in Spain watching over Mater. And while their diecasts are pretty similar and the characters are nearly identical, there are a few changes. The diecasts are actually separate molds, with the Padre diecast having a different mouth and also having a completely different grill. And I think the grill is really the easiest giveaway that these two are separate characters and separate models, both in universe and in toy form. But the comparisons don't stop there. Not only is Padre pretty similar to Father Burke, Padre is also seen accompanied by a Cardinal pity, and the release of Father Burke includes two of them. So just another case of Cars 2 and Cars Tunes characters being very, very similar. And in the case of Father Burke, it's pretty funny to me because I feel like nobody remembers the Father Burke diecast. I'm willing to bet that I'm going to get comments from people saying, I didn't know that this guy existed, and I thought this was Padre. And if you're in that camp, I don't blame you. I certainly do not blame you. They are so similar. I was almost concerned when I purchased these. You see, these were three of many cars that I was sent by my friend the Piston 11 a few months back over the summer. He received this massive lot of used cars from another seller and sold off a lot of them to me for a very good deal. And for whatever reason, this lot included multiples of this 2-pack. There were like 3 sets of the Cardinal Pities and 2 sets of Father Burke, and also a Padre, maybe 2 Padres, but there was definitely also a Padre, and I was really concerned that he was gonna accidentally send me Padre. I remember like messaging him to double check and being like, you just make sure it's Father Burke and not Padre, right? And obviously, you know, it's not that hard to tell them apart. Obviously, he sent me over the right one, but I did find that pretty funny that they had so many of these characters and they were so similar that I was concerned I may accidentally be sent the wrong one from a fellow collector, even though, of course, I was not. So, good job, Piston 11. Like I said, they are pretty easy to tell apart when you know what to look for, obviously. But yeah, very similar characters. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be taking a look at Father Burke and the 2 Cardinal Pities. These are Angelo on the left and Antonio on the right. They were released in a 2-pack together in the 2014 Race Fan series, which is really funny because, like, I mean, he's a priest and they're cardinals. I just find it funny that they were released under the Race Fan series just because they're watching the race. I think these guys have a lot more going on than just being race fans. It's not like Timothy Two-Stroke where the identity of the character is tied to being a race fan. These guys clearly have a bit of another purpose in life, but it's nice to see them stop by and watch the race, right? Father Burke is a pretty unique design, unless you're thinking of Padre, in which case they're practically identical. He's got this really nice hat here, which is a plastic piece that is attached to the metal body of the diecast. He has his whole priest attire here with the grill and the headlights and a nice little smile. I feel like he's one of those cars that would really benefit from rear view mirrors. He looks a little awkward without them. We've got his doors on the side, as well as this part of the priest outfit carrying over all the way across the side. And he has a license plate on the back, as well as some writing up here. Why does he have Japanese characters on his back? We have, okay, wait, what? We have these 3, it looks like Japanese characters, right? And then the number 139 on him. Why is that a part of him? What? Was this mold used for somebody else? I didn't think so. Okay, I don't know what's going on there, but he does have his license plate here that reads BW5530H. I do not understand what that 139 is. Okay, well, if you know, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna call that as a weird error on Mattel's part, but I have no way of knowing what's going on there. Guys, I don't get it. That's such a strange design. That's such a strange design feature for an Italian priest car, right? Anyway, moving over to the Cardinals, we have Angelo here and Antonio as well. Now, a Cardinal is sort of a higher ranking priest, and it was adapted into pity form in a pretty funny and clever way. They're known for wearing these robes and these red caps, which were given to the pitties here. I had to do quite a bit of research into Cardinals so that I could make this review a bit more accurate, and I could not for the life of me find what they were holding. They have these gold chains with a little thing on the bottom there. I couldn't find anything telling me what it was. I was literally Googling, like, what are the gold things that Cardinals hold? Eventually, I asked some of my family members, and they said, oh, it's incense. Cardinals are known to carry incense that they will sort of spray on people, and that's what this is. As you can see from this image on screen, definitely makes sense and matches the incense holder. I think the chain, though, was kind of throwing me off, them holding it with the chain. Made that a little bit harder to tell. I could not tell what it was. I scanned through reviews. The only reviews I saw either didn't really label it as anything. I saw one guy call them religious artifacts, which I guess technically is what they are. But yeah, so they're these little incense holders that Cardinals use, and they're attached to the chains attached to the pitties' fork arms. Now, unfortunately, one of mine came a little broken, but that's okay. The other arm is in place, and it's staying there just fine. I believe if you really want to, you could possibly, yeah, you could probably slip you could probably slip the incense off, but be careful. His fork looks like it's come off with it. I don't know if it's supposed to be removable, but oh yeah, no, this one is glued down there, I believe. Okay. Yeah, so that's just mine being broken then. Okay, oops, gonna call my bad on that one. Don't remove the religious artifacts. I think that phrase could be used in a lot of contexts. Anyway, you can see that these two are pretty much identical, but with different expressions, with Angelo having sort of a open eye grin, and Antonio and not only having a different expression, but also the incense and his fork arms are held in a different position. Perhaps he's spraying it or saying something very important. Maybe he's saying a prayer to people listening. I quite like this face. It's pretty fitting for a priest character. Of course, they both have these robes here, but at the end of the day, they are Guido mold pitties, and they actually still have details that signify their status as pitties. They have that little Italian motor logo that we see in a lot of places. I believe that is the iconic Olzo Vasili, right? that we see in a lot of different places as a logo in the car series. I find it pretty funny to see that they still have the backlight and their logo on top of the robes. Like, the robes aren't the robes a piece of clothing they would put on? It's not part of their car model, is it? I don't know, guys. At least they don't have random Japanese writing on the back. Finally, there's a look at the base for both of them. These guys come together to make a pretty unique two-pack, that's for sure. A lot of people like to joke around about, like, oh yeah, there's religion in the Cars universe. Yes, there is, as seen here. And, I mean, the Cars world is just our world. So a lot of times they like to have fun with actual real-world things and carifying it, especially in Cars 2. These three go pretty nicely together for sure. I sort of understand why the Piston 11, by the lot he bought, came with several of these, because I could definitely see people sort of, for lack of a better term, army building these characters, since there are several priests and several Cardinal pitties in Cars 2. But, like I said, they go together pretty nicely to make a pretty nice group. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.